you hit record and you don't even tell me?
You just saw it. It's fine. You were sitting there looking at it.
I can't even tell if the music playing or not playing. You just keep changing your mind.
It's not playing.
Is it playing or
It's
not?
probably playing right now. Yeah, you want to sing with it?
Wait, how does it go again? I don't know. So yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome to the StudioDork Podcast, episode 39. My name is Gary, and also with us is
Cameron with us. So now you're multiple personalities now.
I don't know. Let's try to switch it up a little.
Alright, cool. Yeah, with us. Yeah. Because there's more than just me.
Take two, peep.
No, it's
Just
good.
kidding.
Who's your other personality?
Do I spell with 2 R's or 1 R? Because we were just talking about there's different ways of spelling Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, you could spell Garry, Gerry, but you see it as Jerry, even though you read it as Jerry.
I read it as Jerry, yeah. If I see Gerry, I don't know why. I don't read that as Gary.
Yeah.
It almost could be read as Gurry, because it's ER. The extra R doesn't make it an A or...
Yeah, but this is America, man. Things don't need to, like, grammatically, it's like everything's just made up. Okay, let's just make the E silent. at the end of the word. Not really, because
that's not American. That is English.
Yeah, English. No, you know what I'm saying?
Because you can do that in Russian too.
Actually, almost everything. Well, I don't know about other cultures too much, but I know that in America, like the way spelling, everything used to be spelled all different stuff. Like things would be spelled one way and then be spelled another way. Like when Beethoven or whatever, all these people. I'm talking about not the dog, man. Come on.
No, of course not the dog. Come on.
Everything was spelled differently, and then they just figured out and made a system. But the system was like kind of random almost.
It's like English is the unfinished language, but I like that because then it's like that's why it's the best language, right? Because
you can't say something is the best if you haven't tried other stuff. But I still like the way you put that. Yeah. This is how I insult and compliment at the same time.
It's totally fine, dude. I was insulting
you
at the same time because I was saying that English is the best, and you're like, well, what about Russian?
Nah, they lost in the Euro Cup. Who needs them? Yeah, Russia and
Ukraine still in?
No, Ukraine and Russia are both out today. Portugal. People are going to be listening to this when like the world thing is already over. But today.
Oh, really? Does it end today?
No. It's still probably like a week or something left. But today Portugal played Spain, and Spain beat Portugal in penalty kicks.
Nice.
So we're trying to watching the game during lunchtime a little bit. Eating spicy tuna. Pretty delicious.
Oh, fantastic.
It is. Good. Spicy tuna is really good.
I was talking about soccer. I wasn't having spicy tuna at all.
Revenge.
Revenge? Yeah, that's what's happening. Alright, cool.
So did you go out yesterday, or we couldn't record yesterday?
Oh, I went rock climbing yesterday. It got postponed because, stuff went down, but it was cool. It was not the best rock climbing day. I had a really rough day for some reason, climbing, but
well, I'm here for you,
fun.
man.
No, it's cool, man. But it was fun, though. What about you? What'd you do?
I did not go rock climbing, but if I did, I would go to the UCLA rock climbing place.
UCLA? They have a rock climbing place? Really?
So I found out about this, and then right away I was trying to get more information because I know you're into this, and you're like really kind of spending a lot of money for this, and maybe you could save money. But so UCLA has its own gym, and they have rock climbing facilities, and they have other type of things that you can use there. It's pretty cool. The hardest thing is parking, but you could probably figure that out. But you have to know somebody that. I think you have to know like a faculty or have some kind of interest. And I think you might have some friends that went to UCLA or something like that, so you can find out because they have a what is that called after you finish a school and you're still that like what we are.
Alumni.
We're alumni.
Yeah. Okay.
We're teaching people English today.
Yeah, totally.
So no, when you're an alumni in UCLA, you have access to those type of things, and I think you have some friends from that went to that school, so you can find out from them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's an idea for you.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. And they have a course there. I don't know if it's as good as the one that you already go to, but I don't know. I thought it might be cool for you.
It could be fun, maybe. I'm down with that. That's cool. What did you do this weekend, though?
This weekend, there was a little event, a birthday event. We did that. That was cool. Went to the beach. Got a little burned.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like a weird, like splotchy burn too. It was like you put suntan lotion on part of your body.
I did, and I usually have somebody help me on my back, me do it on my back, but I didn't because the sun wasn't that bad. I didn't think, but then it ended up being kind of bad. But for some reason, it didn't burn that much. When people see it, it's like, oh, whoa, your skin came off or something, but it didn't. It looks worse than it feels,
Yeah.
I'm kind of a wuss usually, and things hurt a lot, but this didn't really hurt. So it made me look tough. Am I tough? I'm tough.
I don't think it made you look like a leper, kind of. When I saw it, I was like, what is that?
Leprechaun?
No, leper. You know what a leper is?
Teach us.
Leprosy? Like the disease?
Oh, come on.
You know, I got sunburned too on my shoulders this weekend. I was in Vegas this weekend, and I went on my run, and yeah, it was the hardest run I've ever done because it was like 100 degrees outside.
And your body's not used to that kind of temperature anymore.
That was the thing. So I ran 8 miles, and by like mile 6, I was like ready to die, but I made it through. But it was the slower pace. I had to walk for like about a mile because it was just, and I was going uphill for about 3 miles, so I was just like, oh. But it was cool. I made it though.
That's cool, and you're kind of trying to do your runs in different environments, different weather situations, so that way you're kind of ready. Mm-hmm. And when you're going to do the real thing, I don't think it's going to be that hot there, but your body already did a worse situation, so be prepared. Yeah,
well, I'm thinking about doing the Long Beach Marathon before the LA Marathon. That's in October, so I'm thinking about doing that one.
You're going to do the LA Marathon?
I'd like to do the LA Marathon. That was my whole point, was to do the LA Marathon, but now I'm like thinking I can do a couple of marathons before it, so that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the Long Beach Marathon, and then there's a marathon in Vegas that I might do, so... But yeah, and then the New Year's Eve marathon, I just found out they have a...
Does that happen in the summer?
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, it's, I don't know who has a New Year's. Danish New Year is not then. Danish New Year is like in February. So, I don't know who has a New Year in the summertime, but we're talking about the normal New Year.
Yeah.
So. But yeah.
Your veins are still popping out, huh?
Oh, because I went rock climbing yesterday. So, yeah, my arms hurt, but it's cool. What else did you do?
Let's see, on the weekend, also I found an interesting spot that you will like as well. Another thing that I thought about you on Sunday, I went to the spot where I think it's like Hollywood Hills. It's super hidden, and you go up to like Lancashire, like around that area, or like by this parallel to the 101, and you go up this hill and you go to the very top, and you go through all these like maneuvers and obstacles and stuff, and you get to this place that's fairly private, and you see the whole city there, and there's a bunch of people that hike there and all this stuff. It's pretty private, and I brought my camera there, and I was taking some pictures, which they didn't really come out too good, so I was unhappy, disappointed with that. But this place, I think you will like. I'm pretty sure you will like it. If you already have
Runyon?
I don't know what it's called.
I think it's Runyon.
Maybe.
Runyon is one of those ones. It's like, you said Hollywood Hills?
Yeah, like in Hollywood area and stuff.
It might be Runyon.
Have you been there?
I've never been there, but that's supposedly like one of the most, like, that's where most people go to, like...
And I was hanging out there or whatever, and then just some random person was, like, walking, and they're like, hey, I'm sorry, but I just gotta tell you, do you know who that was? Like, this person pointed, like, those celebrities, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. And she got, like, super excited. Just a random person was just walking. Hey, you know who that was? That was the blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't remember what she said exactly. But I guess there's a lot of celebrities and famous people there. It doesn't look like there's just whoever. People look like important, talking about like medical stuff, and like I was overhearing conversations. It was like important stuff, I guess. I don't know.
I bet you it's Runyon, because around Runyon, all those houses are owned by really famous celebrities. So
yeah, and if you look straight down, you see the whole LA completely, the entire Los Angeles downtown. East LA, like really, really far, you could see it.
Nice.
So I was taking some pictures or whatever. So I had that lens that I was talking about that started working all of a sudden. I started not working all of a sudden again. So I was disappointed.
You brought another lens though, right?
Yeah, no, I brought a couple lenses, but I didn't drop in the water or anything.
No, of course not.
I don't have rice.
Yeah, but we get rice.
Yeah.
Cool. You have Asian people, right?
Hey, cut that out, yeah. No, so
or Hispanics.
Well, we say that because the rice thing, so we could remind people. Yeah, Cameron had a situation. One of his friends dropped her stuff and then got rice and fixed it. That's what we're saying rice, not because we're racist.
That's a home remedy for like water in products.
Yeah. So that's what I did this weekend. And let's see, I've been watching Dexter. I'm really getting into Dexter now. Wow, man.
That's good.
That show's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like every single show I watch is like so good, but it's not. That show is just really good. Like it's spectacular.
Spectacular? Yes. Better than Breaking Bad?
You know what? That's such a hard decision. I was thinking about that, but I'm only on season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Season 2, episode 2.
Okay.
So I can't really compare it to Breaking Bad yet, but I still have Breaking Bad as number 1. But I will put Dexter above Mad Men.
Okay. So that's rather intriguing. Because Breaking Bad's coming back.
It is on the 15th.
I know.
I think 15th of July.
I was working on some marketing stuff for that this week.
Show off!
It's pretty cool. Sweet. Yeah. No.
Yeah, they have really cool key art. I've seen it like all around the city.
The slogan's pretty cool. All Hail the King or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I can dig it. But that is their definite final season.
Yeah.
So.
Until the movie comes out, right?
I don't know if they're doing a movie.
Spoiler alert!
Do you think they're doing a movie?
No, I don't know.
I feel like that's like
that'd be awesome, though.
It's like the natural progression for things now. I feel like just doing like a short run of a TV show. Like if you can make it last 5 seasons, then why not cash in on a movie?
I don't know why would you cancel a show that's at the top like Seinfeld did.
They're not canceling that show. I think the writers just decided they found a good place.
All right, whatever the reason is, I don't know why they would just stop.
Because this is if they decide to go on forever with this, right? Like they decide to go for like 8 years or 9, whatever, right? They decide to do a couple more seasons. They would probably, to make it fresh, they'd probably have to kill off Bryan Cranston, and he's what makes the show. And they would have to make it where that other guy, Jesse, or whatever, I don't know what that.
Why do you know all these people's names that I don't even know, and you don't even watch the show?
They would have to make that guy become like the main guy, and I don't know.
He's the second mainest.
He is, but you know, then they'd have to bring in the other guy. I can't remember that one guy's name.
Oh, the one you like?
I like that dude.
So you remembered everyone's names except the one that you like. This one actor that was like a skateboard guy, right, or something like that?
I don't know if he was a skateboard guy.
He looked like a skateboard guy.
No, I heard an interview with him on Smodcast like a long time ago, and he just seemed like the coolest dude, and he sung on their show, and it was just really interesting, so. But, God, what is his name, dude? It's gonna kill me now. I'll look it up.
So that's what's up. Well, how was the drive to Vegas?
You know what? Well, okay, this is what... Well, see, you don't know about this, because I don't know if I told you yet, but I was... Okay, so I was supposed to leave right after work.
Make it fast, yeah?
I was supposed to leave right after work, and about 5 minutes before I was gonna, like, leave...
Oh, I know what happened. Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead and
Your
guess.
friends invited you to do stuff.
No. There was an emergency...
Oh, at work.
At work for a little property that you might know of.
Yeah.
It's got a web designer, famous web designer. And basically, they just were like, oh, we want to try this idea. So, like, the client was just like, oh, we want to try this idea. And so they're like, all right, well, we need a designer, we need a developer, we need all these people to stay. So I had to stay, and they were like, oh, it'll only be an hour. Well, it ended up being 5 hours of overtime to get something pretty stupid of. It's kind of a cool idea, but I wish we would have had more time to do it. And then I didn't want to come home because I knew the birthday thing was going to be going on. So, like, I didn't want to deal with that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to drive out there. So I got there at, like, 4 in the morning.
Yep.
And then, but the thing that was crazier was while I was driving out there was a huge spill.
Oh, yeah.
In the morning on Friday on the 15 freeway.
And that's really the only way to get there from that angle.
Yeah, and so like people were like, there were rumors saying they would shut down and that you're gonna have like 3 hour delay, and all the signs driving out there, those like electronic signs were saying, oh, 3 hour delay, 3 hour delay. I'm just like, oh man, I'm just gonna keep going. And then I stopped at a gas station right before supposedly where the spill was, and I asked the guy, I was like, do you know? And he's like, yeah, 3 hour delay, turn around, just stay at the city. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try. And I went. It was totally clear, and I made it through, but that's the fastest I've ever made it to Vegas from LA. I was driving so fast, but I think it's because there was nobody on the road.
That's really dangerous, though, in the nighttime like that. You should be careful.
Yeah, I know. I think I was just really tired and just wanted to get through it, but I definitely slammed.
Your worst scenario, all of it. 4 in the morning, really, really tired, dark.
I know, but I slammed a 5 hour energy and a Red Bull, so I was like,
and you're on drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the worst scenario. No, that's cool. I'm glad you made it safe over there, but you really shouldn't do stuff like that.
No, I know.
It's one of the most dangerous roads.
Yeah.
It really is.
I've definitely heard that a bunch of times. So.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Oh, did you find the guy's name?
No, I was getting ready to. You want to talk?
Oh no. So for me, I'm actually had a little bit of frustration. Like, so I'm doing a couple different things simultaneously. So I'm doing like a new website redesign, and it's going really well and stuff. And I have the layout is really, really well done, and everybody's pleased and everybody likes it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm using kind of like a neutral colors. Really, the primary color is like orange, and there's like this grayish blue color in there as well. And I'm trying to figure out to add some more color to it, whether it's pictures of something or some iconography or something like that. And I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out like what to add to that, to the composition. Like, and I say it's like a 5 or 6 page website. It's more on the corporate side, but it's kind of like also on the fun side, showing like the product and what the product can do, and like what the benefits of it is, and like some of the key points of how it could be helpful to some specific industries.
Yeah.
But I also want to add some color to it, and I noticed. That might be one of my weaknesses in some parts. I've noticed because I'm also doing an app for one of my buddies as well, and that's going really well too, and he likes it and everything like that, but it's also more in a like really like gray tones and stuff, not too much color in there. And I'm noticing like what should I do to add some color? What do you think?
So
I did a lot of research.
I think I've seen this comp, or at least the really early versions of the comp. So
I think it's going worse too. You're talking about the website, right?
Yeah.
Right
So it's like white and gray, and then you got that orange accent color that you're working with. But you want to add more color to it.
I want to add more color to it, and also I looked at a lot of different sites and layouts and like newer stuff specifically, and this industry stuff, and did like a lot of different sketching and try different things and whatever, and if like everything feels wrong, it doesn't feel right. Somehow, I don't know. I was having some issues with that. So that's why I'm mentioning that, and also I'm doing the app for my buddy, and he likes it and everything, and as well that one has like a lot of gray tones and not really too much color there going on either.
Now that I think about it, I think that's something you kind of always kind of do though.
I know, and I'm noticing that I want to not do that.
I feel like, but it makes sense though because of the camp that you're coming from, in the sense that you're such a big fan of Apple designs, and a lot of Apple stuff is like that. It's the only real color in Apple stuff is the photos.
In their products, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and that makes sense because that's what makes it stand out. I guess maybe, because if I remember correctly, the logo up in the left hand was like, you grayed that out too, right? It was like gray tones.
It has a bluish, and it has like a leather texture in it. It's that thing is like an icon.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's a way to accentuate that. And the video is obviously going to have color, right?
The video is going to have color, but before the video is played, it's going to just be a still image with like a play button.
Yeah, but it'll still be colorful. That's what I'm saying.
See, even the video, but even that part as well, I also dimmed it down. I'll show you because it's a newer version, and I think I made it worse too. I made a ribbon, and the ribbon is orange now and stuff, and I don't know. I was having some trouble with it, a little bit of issues.
Yeah, the issue with color is like you can, especially on a corporate side, if you put too much color. There's a good way to do it, and there's a really bad way to do it.
This one is not. Even though it's a corporate situation, this doesn't need to feel corporate. This needs to feel fun and playful, and that's the direction it's going. Like the layout is like nearly perfect and stuff. Like the way the placement of things and where everything is, everybody's happy with it. Just the color part, I want to be able to add some more assets somehow. I was thinking either like maybe some people using the product or holding it or something like that, but that's also like so overdone, and I've done that so much before.
Yeah.
And including an iPad in there as well, that's overdone. Maybe like some sketchbooks and things like drawn. What a spider.
No, that's on the outside though. Okay. I think it's huge.
We got web designers on the outside.
Freaked me out. That one was like really big. But remind me not to go out on that patio.
Hey, don't go on the patio.
Thank you. Okay. No, what I was gonna say though is like, because there's two things that you can go into. You can go into the style that you do it, right, where you kind of keep where it's almost like an accent. You use like an accent color, and then and you're also a very texture heavy designer. You like very you like it to feel tactile, something that you can almost feel. Right?
I don't like things to be too like I like things to feel like it's has a little life.
Yeah,
exactly. Like it's lived a little bit. Like it's not just clean. Like you just open it from a package and it's brand new. I like it to feel like it's used a little bit somehow. People have been here already. It's been visited already or something.
Yeah, I can feel that, dude. I like that too. I mean, that's what I like when we do photography. I don't like those super clean situations. I like to feel a little bit, and I've started to do that too, where it's more textures and stuff in my designs. But what I was going to say is you can go your way, where it's like that, where the accent color makes sense to do it in the way that you do it for when you use the textures and stuff. But when you try to do a lot of color and stuff, I feel like you should go more in the Google sense, where it's a lot more flatter and just solid colors. And that's where it can get weird, because Google, like, you look at them, they have like a rainbow, but it's like a very subtle rainbow, and it's used very, very well. For you, it's like you use mostly gray tones, and then you throw in like one accent color, maybe another one. I
do tend to do that.
Yeah. So.
But there's situations for different types of things. I'll sometimes design like clean stuff as well with no textures or whatever either. But by default, I usually try to add a little something to stuff, whether it's like some kind of little subtle patterns in the background or something.
Yeah.
But stuff that makes sense, not just to put it for no reason usually.
I feel like the way that all your comps and stuff that I've seen for that client, I feel like the way you're designing it, you might just be sick of it because you've been working on so many different things. Yeah, that could be it too. So I would almost tell you maybe you could try, like, because right now you got that orange and then there's a subtle blue in that, like your grays have a subtle blue in it, right?
Yeah, that gray is really like, there's a blue in that gray.
There's a subtle blue.
And it's a texture of leather.
And I remember originally you had a blue, like a really, it was like a baby blue almost, or like a light blue.
That was another version. That was 1.0 and this was a 3.0 version.
Because you could always match the blue and the orange a little bit, but I almost can't even envision.
Yeah, we'll take a look at. I'll show you after the podcast, and I'll show you the app too. The app is pretty cool. That one I created like a cappuccino-ish type of machine, but like from scratch completely. Oh, okay. So it came out pretty cool.
Oh, that's what you were working on when you were asking me about metal that one day.
Yeah, like I did. Okay. I looked at all these different reflections and all this different stuff. It doesn't look as realistic as some people that I've seen do things like on Dribble, but it's not bad. It looks pretty good. I've never really made let's just create metal and reflection without using a 3D tool, just ourselves. It's not bad. I'll show you that too. So basically that layout, it's kind of like a cappuccino-ish machine at the bottom, and you have 2 coffee cups, and then you have a chalkboard on top, and then you have the different types of coffees that people drink and like, and they can add to the app. That's kind of what the app is, and it's almost like black and white, but he wants it to be like that kind of. And I had a different color. I had the chalkboard kind of more on the green side, and in the background it's also wood, and there's texture as well going on. Because coffee shops usually have it like that. You have like a wood, or you have bricks or something, and then you have a chalkboard on top, and then usually there'll be like different sales and specials and stuff like that.
I mean, you're not in the wrong in doing that, because that's definitely a huge trend in design that's been going more and more.
I'm just trying to get out.
Very lived.
I'm trying to get out of. Oh no, yeah, that part is okay. I'm okay with my texture stuff, but the thing that I'm having issues, and I'm thinking in the past I've had issues, is just color, like adding some kind of like color to stuff. I usually dim stuff down, and I'm trying to like avoid doing that. And then I think what you're saying is relevant, is the fact that I've been working on this stuff a lot sometimes, and it's like you're looking at it and you kind of get sick of it, and the way you can prove that to yourself is if you literally don't look at it for like a couple of days, and you see it, and if it looks way better than before, that proves to yourself that that you were just looking at it too much.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it goes in a circle again.
Yeah, the color thing is a really interesting point, just because I'm working on a project right now that I've been working on for a couple months. And it's like these card things, and they're meant for kids. And originally when I was designing them, I was muting a lot of this stuff, and my art directors kept being like, no, it needs to pop more, you need more color.
Contrast and stuff.
And so I started doing these crazy colors just like to try it, and the client was liking them, so it's like very vibrant, colorful stuff.
Like greenish and oranges and stuff?
No, just the bright versions of almost all the different colors.
Oh, so you turn up all the vibrance, saturation up and stuff.
I just basically had to bump everything up, and then there's like textures, because it's for it's really an anime movie coming out, but it's for kind of like it's like a scary vibe kind of. So it's got a lot of textures and stuff to it, but they had a style guide behind it, so I had to kind of follow the style guide a little bit, but. I just thought that was interesting that you brought that up, just because I am working in the opposite. Like you're trying to fix that, but you're working in like gray tones and stuff, and me, I'm forced to kind of work in really vibrant colors right now. But I'm enjoying it though. It's cool.
Yeah, and I'm also like in a situation, I think too, like, so I did the layout, the design, and the layout is really like I was saying, people like it and whatever, it's cool. And I'm at a point where I need to add color or do something else to it to add like the final touches. But I'm having trouble figuring out like what to add exactly to it. So instead, I'm just like moving things and rearranging them, and it's making the design worse, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than improving it, I'm going backwards, I feel.
Have you tried like just going in and adding like crazy colors, like just
like greens,
almost
and stuff?
like demolishing the design and just throwing crazy
I tried adding like greens for like some call to action buttons and stuff like that, but I really wasn't feeling it.
I don't know if I like green and orange though.
No, the orange would still, it's like a lime green, right? Or kind of like Tumblr. I think Tumblr has something like that, or where have you seen that? Some kind of green like that. No, this was kind of working, but just I don't know. It wasn't. The green would be fine. It wasn't conflicting with the orange, but this orange does conflict with that grayish blue, the one I'm using. So they only work on the one that I'm using.
Oh yeah.
On the side.
Well, give us an update later on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later and stuff.
Yeah, you're trying to shut me up.
That's cool. But yeah, so it's Badger is my favorite character on
Badger.
On Breaking Bad. Bring it back to Breaking Bad for a second. Yeah, so Badger. But on the topic of colors, when we were talking about colors and stuff, there's a big thing going on right now.
How big is it?
It's pretty big. It's pretty massive. My iPad doesn't want to react to me right now. Okay. So, Google. We were talking about Google earlier.
What's that? What does Google do?
Google, they're doing a lot of stuff now. That's a good question, actually, because Google's kind of straying into a new territory now. So, Google's Input-Output conference is going on this week, the Web Developer Conference. And the big thing of the show is they're showing off tons of Google Glass stuff. Remember we were talking about Project Glass? Well, officially it is called Google Glasses. But they have a prototype that is being sold to developers, and it's called Google Glasses Explorer Edition. And it's pretty amazing some of the stuff they're showing. And there's a lot of hands-on tech things that are coming out on a bunch of blogs and stuff, and people are saying that it works fairly well for,
Who's saying what? Just people, like regular consumers?
No, these are like tech bloggers and stuff, like people. Those are the people that have their hands on it.
Engadget and stuff.
Yeah, so one of the guys from CNET actually got to try it with supervision, so he basically got to try them on and kind of mess with them a little bit. And
what do you mean supervision?
So basically, he went into a room and a Google person was there, gave it to him, and he had to, you know what I mean? So
Google person.
Yeah, a Google person, a Googler. So
you can search for stuff in their eyes. Right?
Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, good. I don't know what that means.
Because they're Google people. You search.
Terrible.
I don't know.
But but what else is coming out of that event is also the Nexus 7 tablet, which I know we're all about the whole Apple and stuff like that, but what's interesting
Speak
about
for
this...
yourself, I like PC.
Okay. Well, what's interesting about this is they came out with the Nexus 7 tablet, and they also came out with the Nexus Q streaming media device. So the Nexus Q is their response to Apple TV, and then their Nexus 7 tablet is their response to the iPad. So now what a lot of bloggers are now saying and tech people are now saying is that Google looks like they are entering the hardware market fully now. So they're basically stretching their legs and they're going way into the hardware market. And supposedly the Nexus 7 tablet is pretty amazing. Like it's really, really good. It's got a really nice display. The Nexus Q looked really good too. It's got a really sleek design. It's got something where it's got like a modern, it's basically a sphere. And it's really modern looking, and it works, I think it works wirelessly to your TV, which I'm not sure how that works yet, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, and also Google Plus. Now there is a tablet-friendly web version of Google Plus, which is really, really cool because it actually uses...
You need to put some more RAM in that iPad.
I do, this iPad. But yeah, so now, you have the different sections on Google Plus. Well, now they're left and right, so you can actually just swipe between them. And this is all on browser, which is really, really cool. And I have a couple friends, that girl Jessie, she uses her Google Plus just for photos. Have you ever looked at the way that photos are displayed on Google Plus?
I know it's displayed real big.
Oh my gosh.
Presentation's nicely done.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. And I don't know how it is on the tablet, but on
PC?
Yeah,
or desktop?
On desktop it's amazing. So I'm thinking maybe...
PC means personal computer, not PC.
Yeah.
Right?
No, of course. But we wouldn't have one of those in this house, come on. But anyways... but I was thinking, so I might actually start just using Google Plus for photos because I love the interface. Like if people were on that, I think I would use that over Facebook because the interface has gotten so clean now, and they just have so much content on there now. But I just have nobody on there. You know what I mean? So I think I might start doing photo stuff on there. But that's what came out of there. Is this?
I'll allow it.
You allow it? Good. I'm glad that you allow it because I totally need your permission.
Cool.
What do you think about them entering the hardware market so hardcore all of a sudden? Like just bringing out... I mean, they've always had phones, but now they actually have first party.
Are you talking about specifically Google?
Google, yeah.
Well, we talked about it before. You don't need to know my opinion.
No, well, you don't... So, because I'm wondering, because I know that you're a big Apple fan, but like, we talked about it before.
I'm a big Google fan too, though.
No, of course. I mean, we both talked about how Google... I mean, we both like Google. They have all these free services and tons of stuff. But the reason I ask is just because, like, we've talked about, like, where I said something kind of blasphemous in the last show, I think, about how, like, maybe I'd go into just Microsoft products instead.
No, you wouldn't. Because you have taste.
But we've seen the tablet now. Have you seen the tablet? I don't know if we talked about it on the show yet. The Microsoft...
I haven't seen it, like, touch it and stuff. But back to my opinion real fast. So my opinion about Google in general, and I mentioned this before, is that, they try everything out, and they're able to do that. They have all the money on the planet. They could try everything, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You go to the next thing. They're just able and capable of doing that.
Yeah, no, I think that's... You could say that about most large companies. I think you've said that to me about Sony before, because we talked about...
The cassettes
Ultraviolet.
and JVC?
No, we talked about Ultraviolet, which is their streaming service before on a couple episodes back. But I just figured like maybe you'd have a different perspective on this rather than Microsoft, because like I know I could almost guarantee you you would probably never get.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like could you see yourself using an Android tablet versus a Windows 8 tablet?
I would use my Microsoft product. I would use the thing that's Xbox, the thing that you move and all that. What's it called?
A Kinect?
Yeah, I would use that. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I like the Kinect.
So you'd have to, I guess, okay. So on that front, but see, that's where it's different, because Microsoft, that's probably their best product.
It doesn't feel like a Microsoft product.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, the Xbox in general does not feel like a Microsoft product.
Even though the dashboard on Xbox, like it's actually Windows 8, and it's actually been out for a long time. But I realized this like a couple days ago. It's actually kind of Windows 8 because the way it is, it's all tiles.
So it's an operating system that doesn't exist yet is in Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. So I think that's where they beta tested. They tested how it would work. So I don't know, but yeah. So Microsoft, Xbox. But would you think that you would ever switch over to an Android tablet?
I would switch to the better product. So if there was a better product, I would switch to it.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
You looked at me like if I was lying. I don't know.
Well, because the way that you're a pretty hardcore Apple fan.
I like it because the products are really, really good. Not just randomly I like it. Oh, I like it because it's just random, just because it's Apple or whatever.
Okay.
I like it because it's a good product. I would get something else if it's a better product.
Because the only reason I say that is because this Nexus tablet is supposedly far more powerful.
Well, let's see. Let's take a look at it.
And the only reason I say that is because
it's not out yet, is it?
If you no, it's. I think it's still.
A lot of people and a lot of editors have been saying, "Oh, this is the iPad killer. This is going to be better." La, la, la.
They didn't say this was the iPad killer.
No, but I'm saying a lot of them did, and you go and you touch it and you play with it or whatever, and you see like, no, it's not.
I'm not
Things
saying
are so different. Like they're not as good as the iPad. The ones I tried.
Maybe I said it wrong. What I'm saying is not that it's the iPad killer and that's better than the iPad. It has more power internally than the iPad 3. Okay. So it has more potential. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so power is not the most relevant thing though.
No, of course, because of the interface. But what I'm saying, though, is that Apple constrains you to a certain power because they don't want to sell you the best product. We've talked about this.
Intentionally, they do that so they can always upgrade in the future.
Yeah, and so we've known that about the iPhone for a long time. The iPhone, like even the 4S, is actually pretty far behind a lot of the Android phones. But that's also a problem with the Android phones is that they put so much power into it that people will misuse that power, and so it will cause problems with interface and stuff. So, but if they got their act together, if it's made from Google, which they're coming out with some really nice interface stuff on like Google Plus and certain stuff like
Google Plus is extremely good interface-wise.
So if Google starts taking over the interface on a lot of the Android products and stuff, especially this Nexus, and it comes up to par with Apple, it could potentially be better than the iPad, just because of the amount of power that they have behind it.
If they make a Google Plus tablet, that'd be cool. Specifically called Google Plus.
Well, have you seen the Chromebook is supposedly amazing.
And you have free internet with that one, right? Or something like that.
I think we talked about that. Yeah, I think so. I've seen some commercials for it now. Have you been seeing those commercials?
Not for the actual laptop.
Oh, man. The commercials are pretty amazing. One of them was like the Chromebook was just sitting there and it said, "This is how you back up a Chromebook." And basically the guy just pushed it back and then he just said, "Hey, look, there's a bunny." That was it. It was really funny cool. Because
I like that.
There was a little bunny statue next to it, but it was just really funny. Like,
that's really cool.
And then there was another one, I think, like, this is how you install an app on Chromebook. And he just sat there and the guy just started typing, and then it was just like, he opened up an app and was just like, you don't need to install apps on the Chromebook, because everything's web-based. So I just thought that was really, really cool. But I don't know, Google's doing some really interesting things, and we'll have to see what else comes out of this. I think they're on day 2 right now, so we'll see what comes out. The other thing from Google, before we get off Google real quick, is Google Play now has video purchasing TV shows and magazines on there.
You keep saying it last time.
I know, I keep saying it. But what's even crazier, what's more interesting about this article that I got that from, is that they have confirmed that 50% of all app revenue on the Android marketplace comes from in-app purchases, which means that people buying more levels in games and stuff like that, which I think is insane.
Who invented that idea? Oh, let's have an app. Let's buy something inside the app. Who invented that?
I'm sure it's someone at Apple. It had to have been someone at Apple.
It feels like it. But it might have, it could have been from wherever.
Yeah, totally.
But it feels like these guys create like some kind of structure and they create all these ideas, and based on those ideas, other companies continue.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, that's how innovation happens, So
I like Apple once again, but if there was other products that were better, like if there was a better operating system and a better computer from the type of things that I'm doing, I would get the better computer. I wouldn't be loyal to Apple just because it's Apple. I'm loyal to a good product.
Okay.
And I think I mean that.
I'm not so sure sometimes. And you might have changed a little bit, because I remember the first time when that Windows store opened up near our place and we went in there, you were just talking crap on all the phones, and I was just like, you haven't even touched it yet. Like, you can't just automatically assume it's going to be bad. I know it was because it was a Microsoft product, but I feel like you got to give it a benefit of a doubt before you just go and say, like, you know what I mean? And I feel like you might have a harder time because the Apple products are really, really nice, and there is some brand loyalty because, I mean, you think of how many Apple products we have in the house, and we talk about Apple all the time. Yeah. And every single time we see an Apple store, we pretty much have to go in. So
for no reason.
Yeah, just to go in. Like, what did we do? We went in to go check out the Retina display, and we were there for probably half an hour just watching this random video.
And trying out Final Cut and seeing how you can have it on full screen, which was so cool.
It was really, really cool.
You can have Final Cut and you can have a 1920 by 1080 full resolution while you're still editing stuff and see the whole screen.
It's insane, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
On a laptop.
Yeah, it's...
On a laptop.
We live in the future, I think.
We live in the future.
It's pretty crazy, especially all these Google Glass things coming out, too. All of them were just, like, pretty amazing. I wish I could get my hands on one of the Explorer Edition, but they're $1,500 and they're only sold to developers, so... Like, to development companies, I think. I don't think you can buy them as an individual, so...
Sign up as a developer.
You think your developer friend can get one?
He actually almost got a job at Google. Did I ever talk about that?
I don't know. I don't know if you have on the show.
He went through a process, because Google, it's like a 9... He was telling me about it. It's like a 9 or something step process. You get an interview, and you get a second interview, and a third interview, and a fourth interview. It's like 9 steps, and he got to like the 5th or 6th or something like that. And he got pretty far and whatever, and I don't know, that's pretty... Usually people don't get that far. He got pretty far.
Yeah,
to go to Google and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that it's like a 3 or 4 month interview process where you basically just have to keep going back, which makes sense because they have some of the greatest minds like working there, you know.
And then, like, on Dribble, you know, I check out stuff on Dribble, and I'm sure you check out stuff on Dribble, and this one guy posted one time, like, oh, I just got hired at Google.
Yeah, that Morgan guy. I think that's his name.
Right? Oh, yeah. How does that just happen?
I know, well, when he got hired at Google, then he, like... But did you see what he was posting? He was, like, posting these really beautifully designed things, and then he'd be like, oh, a week later he'd develop them, and be like, oh, I think it works this way. Of course he works for Google. He's amazing. You know what I mean?
But still, that's like dying and going to heaven or something, or winning the lottery. That's like, what is equal to that? Like, working at a place like that.
I mean, like, I really love where I work because it's so laid back and stuff, but I have a friend that actually works... She doesn't work in any of the tech departments. She works in, like, the child center or whatever.
Janitor?
No, she works... She's, like, a teacher, so she works because they have a...
For Google?
Yeah, for Google. So she actually works there, like, basically they just have a classroom, and all the kids have their own computers and all this stuff, and it's basically just like a daycare center for the people that work there. But she was telling me, like, there's, like, a slide from, like, the 3rd floor to the 1st floor, so if you don't want to take the elevator, you just take the slide.
Yeah, they make things fun.
And then also, like, the bike thing, like, their campus is so big, you just grab a bike. They have all these random bikes you just grab on a ride. Or
yeah, I've seen that too.
I mean, it seems like a really cool place to work. And they have so many offices now that it is, technically, you could get you could get a job in Russia. I'm sure they have an office somewhere near Russia.
Yeah, but I want to live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I want to go to the hood. The hood and the planet.
That is actually funny.
Yeah.
Because
I
was listening to Kevin and Bean, and they were talking about, because they were talking about the Euro Cup.
Yeah.
And there's this story that came out that said that there's actually this zoo next to, like, near the Euro Cup, and this zoo used to do this thing where they would get their bears really drunk so that they could, for entertainment.
Yeah.
And now these bears are alcoholics, so they're addicted to the alcohol.
What happens if you don't give them alcohol?
I guess they get really irritated and do a lot of really bad stuff, but basically what this thing is doing is
take body shots?
There's this little town next to the stadium or whatever, or wherever this is going on, because it's being hosted in the Ukraine, or it was, or whatever, right?
Yeah, Ukraine and Poland.
So basically what they did was their whole idea to wean them off is they were going to put them out in nature in this little thing, like in this, like, reserve next to the stadium. And everybody was saying that's a really bad idea because bears on alcohol withdrawal, where there's tons of cheering fans, like, it just seemed, I don't know, I just thought it was funny. And then they were talking about how ghetto the Ukraine was.
Yeah, totally, that's the hood. It's
sorry
true.
if anybody lives in the Ukraine, but, that's what they were saying. I just think drunk bears is messed up.
My Aunt Natashka.
Does she live out there?
Nah, I don't know. I probably have family and stuff.
You just don't know. Okay.
But, do you write in your diary?
No, I don't have a diary, unfortunately.
You don't because you write in a journal, right?
No, I won't. No. I'm not going to do anything. No, I don't. Why, do you?
Both of us do when we record this podcast. This is our journal.
Oh, okay. I can get down with that. I guess I do that on my phone, too. I record ideas, so I guess so.
So I don't know. I just thought of that the other day. Is like, oh, this is pretty much our journal, and this gets archived for the whole planet to hear our journal.
That'd be an interesting experiment if me and you, not that we did it together, we did separate video podcasts on our own, and we would just talk and say what we did for the day, and you do that for 30 days straight, and then see how they differ from each other. It'd be interesting to see.
Today I rock climbs. I
rock climbs? I think that would be, like, I thought about doing something like that, like a 30-day experiment where I just recorded, like, what I did for the day, and then just cut it all together. Have you ever seen that? There's a video called 1 Second, and basically what the guy does is he takes 1 second of video.
I've seen that.
Every day, and he did it
for a year, right?
Yeah, he did it for like a year.
And you could see him getting fat, or his hair or something, or he got skinny.
You're thinking differently. This dude basically anything that he was doing, he would just take 1 second of video and he cut every second together for an entire year, and basically it was just amazing because every single day it was different, and it just to see the breadth of what he did, like all the different.
How long did each second? Was it real time?
It was real time, 1 second. So he would just take, done. So it's almost like a photo, but there's just enough.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting.
I'll find it. It's on Vimeo. It's really, really cool, man.
So the one I'm talking about is...
You're talking about the photos.
Yeah, the guy stands like pretty much in the same place. But this one sounds better than what you're saying.
No, yeah. I've seen a couple of... There was another dude that did 30 years of photos. But he shot like different angles, and you got to see him go bald, and it was crazy, dude. So that one, I've seen people do that stuff, and that seems like that'd be a cool thing to do, but it's hard to be that dedicated because could you imagine doing that? Like that's like a thing you do every morning. You wake up, you take a photo of yourself, and then you go to work.
Batman?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't know. He's trying to save Gotham City. You ask him.
No, I'm asking you. Like, what's going on with
Bruce.
Bruce.
Wayne.
Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's his name.
Yeah?
Did I get it right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so when the teaser posters came out a few months ago, before there was any trailers or whatever, that poster was literally, I think this is my favorite poster. The one just has, where it's the background and the buildings are falling and it's in the negative space of the Batman logo.
Yeah.
But now the new key art that they started doing is a little bit different, and I don't feel like it works as well. The other one was just amazing. Like I was on, the words are unbelievably, like I was extreme. Like it was such a beautiful thing the way they did it. Even the color scheme how they had it, how it was like that blue type of color and stuff, or however they did it, was that they accomplished it really well.
Yeah.
But now they started adding more people, and they started adding like the villain, and they started adding Batman himself to the poster as well with the background. So there's all these things competing with each other, and it's not working as well, I think. And also the actual logo itself, Dark Knight, how they have you seen that one?
I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one, but there's the billboards around here that I've been seeing, I'm pretty disappointed with. You know,
they look really epic and stuff like that, but there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
And the logo I don't like. Like it says dark and then the night and it's on negative space or something, or the other way around.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
I don't know if I'm feeling that too much.
I'm not feeling that either. I think I noticed that too when I saw it, but the thing is though is that poster that you like a lot, that was a wow factor poster. That was to get people super hyped on it, and that's exactly what it did.
I still like that poster.
Yeah, but you want the same thing with like I'm gonna bring in Spider-Man because I'm working on some stuff for Spider-Man, and the key art that we're allowed to use is really, really amazing. I love the key art that we're using, but then you see the print stuff, and I'm very disappointed with a lot of the print stuff, unfortunately. But I think the same thing happened with Dark Knight, but I think it's more with Dark Knight because since it's the last of the trilogy, I feel like they're just like, let's throw every idea out there because we need to get as much. We don't even need to really, they don't even really need to market it because people are going to go see it regardless. But I think they're just like, why not? We're going to make $1 billion on this anyways. Let's just throw out as much as we can and just every idea that we can. Because one of the posters that I've seen, or the billboards that I freaking hate, is the one where Bane and Batman are facing each other.
And there's a background of like armies, right, and stuff.
Something like that. But the thing that I hate the worst is Bane's hand is over the top of the Batman logo. That irritates me so much. Like, that's the thing that's iconic, is the Batman logo, and you're going to cover it up with his hand, and his hand looks like a midget hand. It doesn't look like the right perspective.
It feels off. Yeah, something's off there. The fact that it's covering the logo, that might be intentional, actually. But the fact that it's a kind of a midget hand and feels unproportioned, that's wrong. Yeah. But him covering, it's like he doesn't care or something. It's like, it could be something like that almost.
It almost looks like he's going to rip the head off the bat, but it looks like it's coming up from behind the logo. I would rather him just be ripping it upward, but instead it's like, I don't know, it's just very, I don't like it. But regardless, everyone's going to go see the movie.
Everyone's going to see the movie.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if we walked in there and it was just black and white and it was Tim Burton's Batman instead. Isn't that crazy? He was just like, I decided I didn't want to make a movie, so here's Tim Burton's Batman.
And Jack Nicholson comes out of it.
Exactly. But Jack Nicholson now, so he refilmed it, but in black and white.
No, but he's Jack Nicholson. No.
What?
He's the Joker sitting at a Laker game on the front row.
The entire movie? That's it. They're like, where's the Joker at? He's at the Laker game.
He's at the Laker game.
How long's this Laker game? Well, he keeps them all hostage.
He's Joker.
Have to play the entire time. Kobe could make a cameo in that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could, and his Kobe slogan can be, when Bane comes, right? And Bane's like, I'm gonna kill everyone or something, and the Batman's like, let's get him, Kobe. And then Kobe.
I don't like this. I'm glad that Chris Nolan is doing this and not you, because this would be a terrible movie if you did this.
And then Kobe's like, we got this. That's his slogan.
Oh, yeah?
We got this. Because it sounds like something Kobe would say. Like, I don't know, at the end of the game.
Sounds like anybody could say that.
But like the way, I don't know, it just feels like Kobe would say that.
We got this.
We got this.
I could have said that before the show. That's my slogan. I said it before Kobe did. Oh,
Cameron, I got nothing to talk about. Gary,
we got this. Actually, I got this. You just need to go sit down.
Hey.
Wow, man. That's awesome. Batman. But yeah, so what's going on with
We should go see that movie.
I know. Well, you're supposed to be setting up all the midnight stuff.
I am?
I thought we talked about this, where you were going to do it.
You do this type of stuff. I'm the watcher. I'm just there watching.
All right. Well, I guess I'll...
When is that? Is that in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's June 20th, and the tickets went on sale about 2 weeks ago. So.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, that's my topic, too.
Yeah?
Scalpers.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? There's like a lot of scalpers and stuff doing this type of thing where they're buying tickets in advance of midnight shows and then selling them for more. It's been happening more and more and more. And to prevent this, a lot of movie theaters are starting to have more midnight shows than they normally would.
Oh, okay.
I guess, but yeah, it's like a big thing that's going on.
Wow,
they're trying to think of ways around it because it's kind of like messing up the industry.
Yeah.
You know what? Because then, so for example, say the movie costs $12 or whatever, and scalpers buy it for $12 and they sell it for $18. So they're making they're making more money than the theater is gonna make, because the theater is really only making $1 or whatever from that, right? Because there's like all these different financial stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I heard something like that with scalpers doing them for the midnight show, specifically for Batman.
It's not really hurting the industry, because technically they're still making their normal money they were going to make from that person. It might just be...
But it's not fair, because they're making money more than the people that are supposed to make money.
It's not fair, but it's not killing the industry, though. If it was killing
I think it's going to affect the industry. Like, if the Wilshire exit is closed on the 405, it's going to affect LA.
I don't think... Well, that's going to affect, but I don't think this will affect the industry. The only thing that it may affect is it'll make movie prices go up, because... But no, it won't, because regardless, all those scalpers are going to be buying those tickets. They're still buying them. It's not like they're stealing the tickets and then selling them.
There's no way it's not going to not affect it, though.
It doesn't affect it at all.
I think it does.
No, how does it affect it?
So maybe people will go to less movies during the midnight showings?
But the scalpers will still be buying the tickets.
I don't know. I feel like it will affect the industry.
If the scalpers get used to buying, then they'll buy more tickets because they need to sell those tickets. The only person it will hurt is the scalper, because if they buy, like say they go and they buy 50 tickets, and they can only sell 20.
Well, let's have some scalpers call us and let us know what they think.
Yeah? All right. That's my ring.
That's got to affect.
It's not going to affect it financially.
At all? It's not going to touch it.
No way, dude. It's going to actually help the industry. It will help it. The only thing...
Maybe that part is true. The fact that it might help it. But helping it still affects it.
The only thing that it may affect is that the fact that the person buying the ticket from the scalper, maybe they paid $18, so now that $3 they don't want to spend on concessions, So maybe that might affect it, but that's really because like that's where they make most of their money.
And other stuff like that we like didn't think of yet too. I'm sure it's gonna affect it because the money just going to somebody that doesn't really almost.
No, it's completely unfair to the viewer, but I don't think it will affect the film industry at all, because only if they're getting free tickets.
So if you make a painting, you paint it like, and you take a month doing it, it's like pretty good painting, pretty good quality, and then and you wanna sell this painting for $2,000.
Yeah.
And if a scalper buys it for $2,000 from you and then sells it to somebody else for $20,000, you're cool with that?
It happens all the time with art.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm using it as an example, because they were talking about this.
But that's not negative. I wanted to sell it for $2,000. I got $2,000 for it. Once it goes in the other person's hand, whatever they sell it for, I'm not going to get money for it, because I'm selling it. That's why original art, it's the hardest thing, because like you may sell a piece of art for.
There's only one.
For one, and it's $2,000, and then maybe you get super famous, and then all of a sudden that piece of art is now worth $1 million. That doesn't mean anything, because.
I feel like somebody ripped me off. If somebody buys something from me for $2,000 and then sells it to somebody else for $20,000. I feel like ripped off.
Of course you'd feel ripped off, but that still doesn't affect me because I sold it knowing I wanted $2,000 for it.
I'm trying to think of examples for you, but I can't.
I don't think that this will actually affect the industry at all. It will actually benefit it, I think.
It could benefit it in that regards, where it makes it like something that people talk about and kind of like hyping it up. Oh, it makes it like more almost like a concert situation.
Okay.
But like situations like the concession scene that you mentioned, and probably some other examples that we haven't even thought of yet that it could affect it.
Yeah, ticket sales though I think will actually go up.
Yeah, like always.
I mean, especially if they're opening more screenings, so now they're doing more midnight screenings. That means more scalpers are going to buy more tickets. They're make more money now. So.
I wonder if there's even any tickets available now.
That's why I was asking if you had like done anything, because I knew that they were coming up, but I wanted to wait and see what you did, and then if it didn't work out, then.
That's not my thing.
What do you mean it's not your thing? We talked about it, and then I was just like, I figured I would just let you handle it because you really wanted to do it. So.
Wait, when is the date? When does it come out?
July 20th.
Oh, okay.
So there may be tickets left, but we might not want to go to this theater near us, the most closest theater, just because, because then we'll have to sit in weird spots. You know what I'm saying? Because it's assigned seating. I was trying not to say that because then it gives people clues, but it's okay, whatever.
You can cut that out.
Okay, then stop. Collaborate and listen.
It's gonna mess up the industry.
But yeah, so I guess something that scalpers probably can't deal with. So we get like
translation.
So we get like a 4K experience.
You have a 401k?
In resolution, I do have 401k, but we're talking about 4K. So 4K experience at when we go to movies and stuff, right, we get this really high res.
Yeah. It's shot in high res and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now there's a company. Have you ever heard of Westinghouse? It's a TV company. They're known for like their low budget, like pretty cheap TVs, and they're not really the greatest TVs. Well, they actually are coming out with a 55-inch, the first 55-inch 4K television. So it's quad HD. So it's actually running at 3,840 by 2160 pixels, which is 4 times 1080p.
Retina display.
So we were talking about that. So there were some studies done on this TV because I think it was LG or Samsung was originally going to come out with the first one, which is this year. But then they backed out and they said, we need to work on it a little longer. So it's actually coming out in 2013. But they did some research on this and they're realizing that you get no benefit from the 4K unless it's above 55 inches. The screen has to be above 55 inches. And they said you don't see any change in detail or anything unless you're from a certain distance. And they did not specify the distance. But also another thing that they also brought
2 inches.
up. It could be, But one thing that they did bring up is that 4K resolution content isn't even available to the public. And there's a rumor that Sony is thinking about releasing the first 4K Blu-ray disc, and it's going to be The Amazing Spider-Man, which hasn't even hit theaters yet, so we probably won't see that till holiday season.
That's interesting.
But it's crazy just because we were just talking about retina displays and stuff like that last week.
It's crazy having a format that's higher than Blu-ray.
I know.
That you can just play at home.
I know. Cause it's almost uncompressed video at that point, right? It's like super, super high res. Like, could you imagine the file size on that?
Big.
I think
It's still probably compressed to a point.
Oh, of course, there's still compression inside of it, but it's basically.
It's not like true raw, but it's the closest thing to that.
Yeah, could you imagine though, like?
Are they H.264ing?
Yeah, totally YouTube status. Yeah. No,
no,
but
the codec or whatever that's using.
I know, but that's for web stuff, isn't it? H2. I thought
no,
that was for.
No, Blu-ray uses H.264.
Oh, really?
H.264 is probably the most used.
I thought that was something that had to do with web, like optimizing.
They probably use it.
Like I do all the StudioDork podcasts
MP4s and all that stuff. Probably they have H.264 codec as well. I don't know if video people would know this stuff more, but there's like MPEG 2 and MPEG 4 and all that type of stuff. But H.264 is like the most used, the most popular thing now. But I think you lose like a little bit of light or something, but the way it compresses the stuff is really, really good. It still keeps the quality.
Oh, nice.
We're not really specialists at this, but this is just stuff to be checked a little bit.
Yeah, totally. That should be interesting. I think the thing that's going to be more interesting is the next, if this comes out, next 5 years, are they going to start pushing streaming to 4K? So we're going to get to be able to stream 4K content.
That's going to definitely be possible eventually.
With IPv6?
Yeah, because the internet is getting so fast now.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I almost feel like I never imagined we'd get to this point. Do you remember back in the day, with streaming video that was like 1 frame a second? It was like crazy slow. Now it's like these kids nowadays just growing up with everything.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would go to my cousin's house and download, because I don't think I had a computer. He had a computer at that time, and I would just download like games, like try to find as many games as possible, like free games or whatever. And the games would be like half a megabyte or a megabyte and a half, or the biggest would be like 3 or 4 megabytes, and it would take like 40, 30 minutes or sometimes like an hour or whatever for just a couple of megabytes.
Yeah. You remember that documentary I showed you about music and how the industry changed and stuff? When they talked about Napster, they talked about how somebody inside the industry found out about Napster and they went to go download one of the songs, and it took like an hour to download one. It was just one song. I think that's so crazy to even think about back then, you know?
But like, see, there's pros and cons or whatever in this type of stuff. So like the point that I was getting to before you rudely interrupted me,
of course. That's what we
like
do.
I usually do, is that it was like a really rewarding feeling. So you could download it and it would take like all this time and it was only 1 megabyte, but then when you get it, it's like, oh, you're so excited, this game is so fun and so cool. Same thing with Napster, like what you just made is a good point. Like it took like 30, 40 minutes to get this one song, but now you have this song and you could listen to it and it's so exciting. Now we can literally get anything we want to within milliseconds, and it's like, whatever, we don't care. It's not even available, Spotify and all that stuff. I mean, it's still good, we still listen to music and to get inspired and whatever, all that stuff, but just like the value is not there as much as before.
Definitely, you can see that in. We can bring it to design on this. You can see it in. There's people that they'll put like a piece of artwork that, like they did, like a series, like the Good thing is the Marvel Dinosaurs. One of our friends from college did that, and he put it up, and it got a bunch of hits on the internet. It was huge, and now it's kind of died off. It died off in a couple months, and I feel like that's just because we're getting content so quickly now, and people can't keep up with the content. I mean, Dribbble's a good example. That you see people all the time. They'll post something up. I haven't posted anything in like 6 months, but it's just because I can't understand how most of those people keep up with Dribbble. Like, you just have to post something like every couple days, and I'm doing enough work to do that, but most of it I can't show because it's under contract or, you know, so internet definitely is moving faster, and it's definitely making stuff less valuable in the sense that, like, it's so readily available to people. I think the music industry is running into that a lot, and another thing I did want to bring up, and I didn't even think about this till just now, was YouTube.
You're welcome.
YouTube is running this contest right now called Your Film Festival. It's really, really amazing. What it is basically they had 50 entries of short films. Films have to be, I think, less than 15 minutes, and it's sponsored by YouTube, and they have Ridley Scott as one of the judges, and whoever wins gets $100,000. I think it's either $100,000 or $500,000 to make an original piece of work with Michael Fassbender and Ridley Scott, which is an amazing prize, right? I was watching a couple of these short films. Man, so amazing. Like, there's 50 of them on there. I watched maybe 3 or 4 of them. Every single story is so interesting. Everything's shot in such high resolution. Some of them even have a ton of visual effects work done to them. And they're just these small teams. Like, one was like 3 people, and they did such an amazing job. I just can't believe that we've come so far where people can just basically produce such interesting content, man. It's just, It's almost mind-blowing.
Or things are like the same level as a movie would be, like an actual movie going to the theater. It's the same level that just a few people are doing by themselves. So that as well is also, that stuff like that being such a good quality and being so good also lowers the value of all this stuff too, right?
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up. Sucks. Yeah, which does suck, but at the same time we get really, really interesting ideas from all that. Another thing that brings up also is, since we get stuff so fast and everything, I heard, like, I was listening to a podcast. I think it was the Nerdist podcast. It's one of the new podcasts I started listening to.
Which one is it?
The Nerdist podcast. It's a pretty good podcast.
What is it about?
It's basically these nerds that talk about. What's the dude's name? I can't remember the guy's name. I'd have to look.
You know who could beat up nerds?
Dorks.
Yes.
Well, these guys are actually famous, so that's really
we're not.
It's like a bunch of comedians that basically talk about stuff, but
we're on YouTube all the way live. We got like 39 views on one of them.
Well, what I was gonna bring up about this show is that they talked about movies and how movies, they used to release 30 movies a year. Studios would release 30 movies a year.
Yeah.
Now studios are releasing somewhere around like
hundreds.
3 or 4. They're releasing less because there's so much content out there that they need to have the really good content be released, you know? So they're very, very, like Disney, like Pixar is a good example. Pixar, when they first started, they produced, I think, something like, their first year was something like 3 or 4 films. They release maybe 1 film a year now, which is very low.
They just came out with Brave, right?
Yeah, which I'm going to go see tomorrow, I think. But Ridley Scott...
I heard it's like Up, like the same type of...
Oh, yeah. I've also, I've actually heard some negative reviews.
I heard negative from one of my coworkers said he didn't really like it, and he said, "Oh, if you like Up, you'll like it." But I did like Up. I liked Up a lot.
The first 30 seconds of that movie was amazing. Do you remember that?
I remember crying.
Yeah, I totally did cry during that first. Oh man, that first couple minutes, man.
I didn't even bring a hanky.
I didn't either, but it was okay. I had a cat there, so I just popped my face in the cat.
But you sprayed water at the cat so you could leave your room.
I did. I was in the past, Gary. Don't say that. PETA's getting mad after me. So.
Wait, what?
PETA?
That was the cat's name?
No, PETA. PETA, the animals rights activists. People, people.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I am vegetarian, so back up. Yeah, so.
One of these days, I'm gonna go into your room and put chicken in your mouth.
Oh, that's gross. That's why I sleep with my door locked. Just for that reason. Just for chicken.
From El Pollo Loco.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Michael Jackson?
What's going on with Michael Jackson?
You tell me. He's the one that died 3 years ago.
And now his
No, yeah, it was Michael Jackson's 3rd year anniversary a couple days ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to throw a shout out.
Michael Jackson and the whole Jackson family. The Jackson 4.
Just Michael Jackson, really.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Hopefully you heard us wherever he's at.
He's with Tupac.
I think he's still alive.
No, he's a hologram.
And they're all Hollow Pac and Hollow Jackson, Michael Jackson, are hanging out in some.
They're hollow rapping.
Yeah, totally. It's cool.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what both those people would really like if they were alive still is they'd probably like Facebook, right?
Yeah.
They're super down with Facebook. And we've always talked about how Facebook, since they went to Timeline, their app has been super slow and all that stuff. Well, rumors are saying now that the Facebook iPhone app is getting a speed bump, as they are saying that what the Facebook app actually does right now is it actually is just an HTML5 version of the web version, so it basically is almost opening up just a browser.
Yep.
And the hard part about Facebook is they're constantly updating all your stuff, making sure everything's up to date, and so it's pulling too many resources. So now they said they've actually went in and they actually overhauled it, and now the app is actually an app. It's not pulling from the web like that now.
Oh, they updated it or something?
It's getting ready. It says next month, supposedly, there's going to be a speed bump.
Cool.
So that should be good.
Good info, dude.
Yeah, I just figured I'd bring that up. That was my last topic, so I just want to make that happen. But I'm switching to Google Plus.
So where's the news now? Where's the news?
I try to make.
Is there weather? Oh, what's the temperature?
I would use my phone. My phone is actually being used as a microphone right now. I can't multitask on my iPhone, unfortunately.
And we don't have true iPhone doesn't have true multitasking.
Yeah.
Even though they're supposed to think it does.
But if you jailbreak it, there is a way to do that.
And you know what else? Safari.
Yeah.
Is the new Internet Explorer. There's a lot of issues in Safari, or I'm hearing it from developers where I'm at.
Oh yeah.
Where I work at. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of issues with Safari. Like things are not rendering, and some stuff is not being allowed to happen, and doesn't work consistently with the other browsers. That's always like that, depending, if it's using WebKit or whatever, however that works. But yeah, that's what I've been hearing from developers at work, because Safari's a new IE, which is like such a big insult. I don't really use Safari. I usually use Google Chrome.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard.
Yeah, that does bring up a good point, that maybe Apple is now moving so hard in their hardware that maybe they're letting Safari suffer, even though they are making updates to Safari. But
they're making updates all the time to everything.
Yeah,
There's always updates.
I don't use Safari either. Whenever I talk to someone that owns a Mac, they usually use Chrome or Firefox. Chrome, I usually use Firefox at work, but a lot of people have been trying to get me to use Chrome at work, because I don't, but it's just because it wasn't on my computer, and I just didn't want to deal with it.
You were using Chrome before I was using. I've been using Firefox for like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just recently started using Chrome.
I love Chrome. Chrome's my favorite, and supposedly
Smiling's my favorite.
Yeah, is it? Smiling is your favorite?
That's from Elf.
Oh, okay.
He says that, he goes, Smiling's my favorite. Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah, Will Ferrell. Nice.
I know, Nate. That's my first name. That's my first name I got right.
Yeah. Remember Bryan Cranston?
What about Brian Gumble?
Oh.
Why Bryan Cranston?
You should know who Bryan Cranston is.
No, I'm not saying who is that. I'm saying why should I remember him?
Because he's on one of your all-time favorite shows.
He came out on the StudioDork Podcast.
No. Television shows. That television show's come out.
Breaking Bad?
Yeah. It's the main guy on there, Bryan Cranston.
From Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah. So don't call him Malcolm in the Middle anymore.
He probably doesn't like that.
No, he probably loves that.
He's the dad in the middle, not Malcolm in the middle.
I heard a story. Kevin Smith told a story one time when he was working with.
You act like you were like hanging out with Kevin Smith.
No, I heard it on a podcast. But he told a story about hanging out with Robin Williams, and I guess he was on a TV show for a long time, and so people would always call him, like, this is way after like he had done all these movies and stuff. So people had seen him in these movies, but he was on the show for so long that people still only recognized him as that. So they would just call out his character's name. And Kevin Smith said that he asked him, he was just like, well, why do people remember that? And he was just like, well, I was in their homes on their television, every week, and they know me for that character. So that guy, Bryan Cranston, most people don't know his name. They won't know him as Walt, And it's because it's such a good show, and he's in there. His
character's so strong.
Yeah, I think even if you had a really, like, if your character wasn't that strong, but you went for 6 or 7 seasons, people are going to know you as that character, just because it's almost like having a friend in your house all the time. Like, you know your friend for that because they're there all the time.
The actor on Mad Men?
Yeah. John Hamm?
John Hamm. And I saw him in a movie called Bridesmaids.
Yeah, okay.
And his role's kind of small. He was just one of the people in the movie, like a fairly small role, and just it felt so off.
Yeah, because you see him...
I see him as that, but also if he was, I see him as like the main actor of the movie, like the main, like, some huge star. But here he was just like such a small little role, like almost like a nobody in the movie, and it felt like off to me.
Have you seen any of his YouTube videos, dude? It's pretty funny because supposedly he's like he's really good at comedy, supposedly. And so I saw this video where he was reading fan mail from people, but it was like, it was sex advice or something. Oh man, it was so funny. He basically would read these letters from like 16-year-olds and be like, oh, my boyfriend wants to have sex, all that stuff like that. And then he would just basically be like, you don't need to be worried about that right now. Don't worry about it. And he was just like basically made it straight. It was so funny because
he was doing like a dad's.
Yeah, role. Exactly. And it was just so cool to see him like that. But
cut all that out because of Family Show.
Yeah, because of sex.
Hey.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what happens on the StudioDork Podcast now. New version.
We're rock stars. We drink Monsters.
Yeah, no, I drink Red Bull. I don't like either of those. But anyways, so I think we're pretty much done, right?
But you got wings and you're not even religious? Alright guys, go visit us on...
Yeah, you want to do it?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you guys can definitely check us out on Facebook, on the new optimized Facebook if it's next month. Facebook.com/StudioDork. Leave us a comment, leave us a review, anything at all. Like us. You can go on to Twitter. You can check us out on Twitter, @StudioDork. You go see the atrocious logo that now is there. Well, it's not really atrocious, but I don't like it as much, the new Twitter logo. The interface is always clean, though.
And they have lazy loading, right? So
Yeah, I think
so does most places have that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a normal thing kind of now. But, well, actually, while we're on Twitter real quick, can I just say one thing? There's a rumor going around that now Twitter is going to allow 410 characters for specific VIPs, which includes mostly bloggers.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Most people that I've heard are just like, oh,
the whole point of it is for it to be a little short
form.
Yeah.
So now all those news sources that you follow on Twitter, like if you follow any at all, they're probably going to have 410 characters, so they're going to have longer tweets, which I'm thinking of the company I work for, there's a good possibility they're going to have that too, and that sucks.
It does.
I'm very disappointed with that, but
it kind of like, that's the whole point.
I would actually be cool if they brought it down, the character limit down.
I like that idea too.
What if they can we make that? Can we make like mini tweet? But we don't call it tweet, we make it something else where you only have like 50 characters? Be so awesome to do that.
The regular one is like how many characters?
It's 100. It was 140 at first, and they made it 143 for some reason.
Is it 140? That's like a text message, right? Or like an SMS?
It might be
something around that.
That could
like
be
160.
But yeah, I think it's 143 is what it is. But anyway, so check us out on at StudioDork, and then also check us out on Google Plus. New Google Plus interface on tablet looks really cool. Check us out. I don't know any way how to get you there except for to go to our website and check above the search section of our site. There's going to be a G Plus logo.
Or just go into Google and put in StudioDork. It would be probably one of the first things.
Yeah, totally. You could do that as well. And check us out on YouTube. All of our shows are on YouTube. We got video content coming soon. Yeah, youtube.com/StudioDork. And then on iTunes, you're probably listening to the show on YouTube or on iTunes. Check us out on iTunes. Leave us a review. We just kind of want to know what's going on and what do you guys think of the show.
Yep.
And
you get your stuff. You'll get to listen to the show a day.
Yeah, 24 hours ahead.
The rest of the world.
Yeah, world premiere for you.
World premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
What?
Because they go Sunday. Come on down. But now it's like Wednesday. Come on down. Record and blah blah blah. Download, whatever.
You're disappointing your whole family right now.
It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, and then tell a friend. Tell a friend about the StudioDork podcast and StudioDork in general. Why not?
Friends fly free.
Yeah, they do. They
can listen to helicopter.
Yeah, the Dork movie. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, man.
All right, guys.
Check them out.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. No. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our show.
Mm-hmm.
And we really appreciate all the support. We will talk to you guys later.
Sing with me. What is that? I don't know that. That's our song. That's our song? When did it come in? It's song. That's awkward. It's only awkward if you make it awkward, Gary. That's the story. It didn't happen this way when we rehearsed it. Did we rehearse this? No. I think we did. Oh, we totally rehearsed it. We just have bad writers. What do you want from us, man? Hey, we are the writers. By batting you back to the bone. Yeah. Oh, now you want to sing. This is Dutch, so we just keep going. Oh, thanks for telling me. Yeah, I'm letting you know what's up. Somebody on Twitter in the NBA got fined a lot, like I think $50,000. For tweeting something? For tweeting something, yeah. Wow, that's rough. Something like that. It's rough in the NBA streets. Did you see, we got a tweet from Elias again, our number one fan. Yeah. He sent it a long time ago, and I just realized it the other day, but something called thefancy.com. Have you heard of The Fancy? It's pretty sweet. It's basically like a site, it's like a blog, and they post like all these really cool things. So you should check it out, just while you're out and about on the internet and stuff. Are you telling me or our viewers? I'm telling you. I mean, because we have no viewers, you only have listeners. No! Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's pretty sweet stuff. You know what's sweet? What's sweet? Sugar. What's it called? Fancy? Thefancy.com. Thefancy. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure. Yeah, thefancy.com. There's an app. I know, they have an app. That's what's crazy about it. This dude is just like a blogger, and he just made this thing, and he just posts photos of. And they're basically just really, really cool, well design products, essentially. And I think it's really cool, and I haven't really looked at it too much, but the layout of the blog and everything is really clean, and it's pretty awesome. The dude has his own app, so I'm assuming the guy that runs it is either a developer or a designer, or both, because if he has his own app, I don't think that you'd actually, because there's not really any advertising on the site. That's what's interesting about it. Like, I don't know how he makes money to,
Maybe he steals money.
He steals money?
His app, his logo is ice cream.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is really awesome. So, but yeah, the fancy, thanks for throwing that to us.
Thank you.
I know we haven't said anything to you about it, but sorry. I just couldn't, I was really busy. I was having trouble keeping up with Twitter, so.
We haven't passed 1,000.
No, it goes down, but.
I think it's all part of the plan. You know how Joker said that? It's part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. Well, there was a character on Dexter that said the exact same thing in a very similar tone. And Dexter came out in 2000. That episode came out in 2006.
That's what he's saying.
Seriously.
So what are you saying, though?
No, I'm just saying.
No. You can't say that that's where they got it from.
No, because you know, like, that's all part of the plan. That's, like, probably has been used so much before.
Yeah.
It's not like... But the way Joker said it was so...
How,
It was just so, like...
Heath Ledger said it.
How
He could have been a fan of Dexter. Maybe that's where he got it, but he's dead, so he can't figure that out.
That's not very nice, bro.
Why not? I don't see you sitting there being like, Heath Ledger, he died on this day, so we should pay tribute and throw a shout out. You only live for Michael Jackson. You are such a freaking racist.
I like black and white if I like Michael Jackson. How's that racist? This is all gonna be in
No, this is gonna be in the middle of the show. It's gonna happen.
in the beginning. It's gonna start.
There's been no music. It's gonna start with this.
I don't know if it's about music like that.
Dude, don't hate.
Do you like it like that?
Congratulate.
You like it like that?
I like it like that.
No, I'm serious, dude.
I kind of do just because it's like, it's almost like they just they came into our living room like randomly. Like they just like, we had music going and they're just like walking in our living room.
No, I'm saying
interrupting our
the
conversation.
way our show started. I like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like it like that because it's almost like that gives them what the flavor's gonna be. And then they're coming into our conversation at like the last minute, so it almost feels like they're like getting a sneak peek type
But if
thing.
you do it like that, maybe the song should be a little bit shorter. Like 10
Well,
seconds.
normally I do, but the last intro that we did was like so short that like I had to do it either long, because there's only certain lengths of that song, and so I was having issues, and I was also cutting that really fast because...
It's still fine, yeah, I feel
Yeah, you know, because I went to Vegas.
You still did it. Everything was good with it. Just I don't know about the music in the beginning. But you said you're kind of still experimenting with that.
Yeah, we can talk about it still. I mean, it's fine. There's a bunch of stuff going on at the StudioDork place where we're at.
The mansion.
Whoa,
so much for you to cut.
Yeah, an hour and 18.
Are you gonna use a butter knife or
A butter scissors. Butter scissors.
or a steak knife?
I'm on steak, so I'm gonna have to use a vegetable knife.
What about olive oil knife?
What?
Olive oil knife.
Oh my gosh.
You're killing us.
Oh man.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright guys, whatever.
Yeah.
Tell them whatever.
Whatever, we're done. We're done.
Totes me goats. I hate that.
I do too, don't worry. I just say it because it annoys myself.